We are going to go. I think we should start with that because that's going to be very interesting.
With
Both men and women's have probably a fantastic Final Four. Obviously, uh, let's go ahead and start with the men. Men's Final Four is ridiculous. We got FAU is going to be playing San
well,
Diego State,
I
and then we've
told
got
you not to
Miami.
doubt the Owls, and you doubted the Owls. I don't know why you did that.
I doubted. Yeah, you're right. I doubted the Owls, and you also, dude. K State played like crap that game. They lost on rebounding. K State is by far and whole the better team in my opinion. They still are. I think that they just did not get off in the rebounds. If they would have gotten the offensive rebounds, they would.
FAU gets so many rebounds because they're a pretty big team. They
They
have
do.
a 7-footer.
But I'm telling you right now, if they would have gotten like 10 more rebounds offensively, that team is just a better shooting team and just like assist team. Like they've got such good court vision. Um, I love that. I love K State actually. That's one of my favorite
I
teams.
was
But
really surprised San Diego State made it.
I wasn't. I told you that if there was a team that was going to beat Alabama, K State or San Diego State would, and you were like, no, Alabama's going to beat them.
Well,
Nope, I told you.
I just didn't think that. I didn't think they were that good. I figured they would lose to
I did.
Charleston.
No, I had them. I think I had them going to the Elite Eight and lose, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I actually did
thought
have them
Creighton
losing to
would be-
Bama.
I thought Creighton was going to be the team to beat in that region.
I did too.
I thought for sure they were the best
I,
team.
I had Creighton going to the
The
Elite
end of
Eight
that
and then
game
losing
was super
to.
controversial because they fouled the guy. Creighton fouled, and San Diego State made 1 of 2 free throws, and then they went to throw at the line.
That was bullshit. There was time in the game. No, there was like
I don't
0.8
know,
seconds.
because they're like, oh well, the clock operator didn't start it until he hit the ball, so it actually ended. I don't know. I think it's kind of pointless to go back and forth about that.
I mean, it is, but also like that late in the season in such a big game at that point, like I think that that's
I was
bullshit.
really
And also, I'm
surprised.
also calling bullshit call.
I was really surprised about how badly Miami is playing really freaking well.
Yeah, they are, but I will also say this: I think that call was that. I mean, people are going to argue with me. That's fine, but I honestly think that I'm one of those people that believes when it's such short time left in a game and it's such a big high stake game like that, that there's a point where you just let them play, man. Like that foul against Creighton was bullshit. He didn't even hit his arm. He bumped him in the hip. I watched it a couple times. It was a
He
bullshit.
hit him while he was in the shot. That is a foul.
He wasn't affected at all. It didn't
It's a
affect the
little
shot
bit
at all.
of a soft foul, but by definition, that's a foul.
Yeah, but like they hadn't called half those. There was literally 3 times that Creighton's players got absolutely bodied in the paint and knocked over. They didn't call it. At that point in time, that late in the game, just let them play. Let them play.
I will say though, the team to beat is UConn. UConn is 100%
100%.
the team to beat.
I said this. I don't even care who wins now, as long as somebody beats Miami. I don't give a crap who wins. I'll even take FAU. I don't care as long as somebody beats Miami.
Well, so Miami, they were losing against Texas, and then Texas just forgot how to play basketball. If you let Miami go on a run like that, they're just gonna win.
I told you Texas wasn't going to win. I actually called that.
So let's preview the actual games. The early game at 6:09 is FAU and San Diego State. That's just so random.
I know I doubted the Owls once, but I think San Diego State coming off beating Alabama is just going to be too hype. They beat Creighton. They have a good team. They are actually a really solid team. Nobody gives them credit for it.
I think FAU's looked way better than San Diego State.
Yeah, but they also haven't had as hard of competition, in my opinion.
Fair, but I still think they're a better team. I mean,
I don't know. I think the hardest team FAU has literally had to play was freaking Kansas State, and that was it. San Diego State has literally played the top seed, the center almost. Well, yeah, they beat the top seed. They also beat who's the other team they beat? Oh my God, am I tripping?
Creighton. They beat Furman. They beat
Charleston
Alabama,
barely.
and Charleston.
Yeah, so they beat a team that actually Furman is actually a good team. They destroyed them. Yeah, but they beat Alabama and they beat Creighton, who was actually one of the favorite teams to go to the Final Four.
The team that gave
Whereas
FAU the best game was Memphis, and FAU beat them at the buzzer. And a lot of people thought Memphis would go to the Final Four, but FAU kind of just.
Memphis is not a good team, really. I didn't like Memphis. Memphis isn't that great.
Memphis and FAU were like 2 of the hottest teams going into the tournament.
I agree Memphis is one of the hottest teams, but like Memphis at an 8 seed, I didn't think they would get very far. But I mean, think about it. FAU's road has been fairly easy. They beat Memphis, whatever. That was a close game. They played FDU, which they should have beaten by more than 8.
Better than Purdue.
They played Tennessee, who is not a great team. They just got lucky and got in at a higher seed. and then they played K-State, which was the hardest team they played.
Here's my thing about San Diego State is they're 4th in defense, 75th in offense. FAU's 30th in defense. I don't know. To be honest, the efficiency doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
Efficiency doesn't matter. It's going to come down to who's going to come up clutch in this. And if
every year besides this one, I think FAU just passes the ball too well, and they can shut down offenses when they need to. I think FAU's the better team. I think they win.
I don't know. I feel like with as good of a defense as San Diego State had against Alabama and Creighton, I think they'll be able to shut down their offense, and then they just need a couple of points. They looked good.
This is gonna be,
I'm taking.
Here's what I think is going to happen. This is going to be a very low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game.
Well, define low, because I'm thinking it's going to be like in the 70s.
In the 50s.
Really?
I think this game's in the 50s. Well, I don't know what I'm going to see. The over-under is 132. I'm hammering the under. Hammering the under. I think this is going to be an ugly kind of game. But
the over and under is 30. It's 132. I can agree it's going to be under, but I'm not not by much. Like it's going to be close. I think there's going to be a team in the 7.
I think this is going to be a very low-scoring game, and people are going to be like, "Oh, well, I'm not going to watch anymore because this is why two nobodies in the final." I think that's exactly what's going to happen. But I just think FAU, they've been so clutched on the stretch. They're a really good free throw shooting team too. They don't miss very many free throws.
Yeah, they don't.
San Diego State's favored by 2.5. I'm liking my odds with FAU.
Okay. Yeah, you take FAU. I'm going to take SDS. I think that they looked really good. All right, other game, UConn and Miami. Okay, I'm just going to flat out say it. There is not a single team that is hotter right now than UConn. I'm sorry. When you beat Arkansas, who beat the number 1 Kansas, you beat them by, 23, and then you come in and you beat Gonzaga by 28. And you didn't even look like you were trying? I'm sorry.
Their margin of victories are 24, 25, 23, 28.
Yeah, they haven't lost a game by – it's ridiculous. They're the hottest team. Now, I will say if there's one team that's going to test them, I can see it being Miami because of how fast-paced Miami plays, and they're going to keep them on their heels. But I just think with Miami doesn't have height, really. They don't have a huge guy. UConn's got some really good paint defenders.
Well,
UConn's got some good shooters.
Miami didn't have a big guy against TJD, and it didn't matter.
But TJD is not a huge guy. TJD is 6'8". Like he's not like a massive dude. I'm pretty sure one of the guys on UConn is what 6'11".
Something like that. I know FAU's got a 7-footer.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. They're not. TJD is a forward. He's not a center. UConn's got 2 big guys, so they're gonna bully you in the paint. And now, I don't say judge everything on stats, but stats also don't lie. So the fact that their margin of victory has not once been under 20, and especially against a good team like Gonzaga, that's pretty impressive.
I think you got to look at every game. The thing is, though, is Miami plays very similarly to Gonzaga.
Exactly. And that's the problem.
Miami's defense hasn't even been bad. That's what I thought. Oh, their defense is just going to sell them the tournament. I'm like, yeah, they can score, but They don't have a good enough defense to keep up with anyone. Well, they won a low-scoring game against Drake. They should have lost to Drake in the first round. I was pissed because I wanted IU to play Drake instead. Drake had a lead near the end of that, and Miami came back, beat them. And then they only allowed 69 to Indiana, and their defense really, they allowed they really tightened up for a stretch against Houston. All they got to do, because Miami's going to score throughout the whole game. All they got to do is just tighten up on defense for one little 5-6 minute section, and they can just get a lead and hold on to it. That's what they did they did that twice against Indiana because they did it in the first half, then Indiana came back, and then they did it again. But that's how they beat
100%.
Houston, and that's what they did against Texas because they were losing against Texas, and their defense tightened up, and they came back, tied it, and won.
Yeah, and it's – now, don't get me wrong. I can't say that I can't not give credit to Miami. I think Miami's had a great run in the tournament, and they've deserved everything they've done. They played great. But I think that they've been so used to playing teams like Indiana, like Houston, where they're a lot more they have their guy that they go to. If you can shut them down, they're not huge guys. They're more of a smaller team. And now you're going up against a team that literally relies on their bigs in the paint. You're gonna have to figure something else out. And they played Miami. Yeah, TJD is pretty much everything ran through him. But if need be, we could kick it out to Miller. He could knock down a 3. We could kick it out to Trey. He could hit a 3. UConn really just heavily goes in their big men, and they're bigger than
They've
TJP.
got a guy that can
So,
shoot. I can't remember his name, but
oh,
they got a guy.
100%.
They got a
They
guy.
do, but
They got
like
a real good.
they
He's like a
100% they
first
do,
rounder.
but they're
I'm blanking
they're
on
going
his
to rely
name.
on the big.
No, they
But
have a
like
guy that can
it's
shoot.
not like us. They do, but when
Jordan
Trace was
Hawkins.
doubled, what did we do? What did we do?
Wait, when Trace was
We ended
doubled?
up turning the ball over because we were flipping out, right?
Yeah.
UConn doesn't flip out. If their big guys are getting doubled and they can't make it, they kick it out calm. They've done it all. That's why their margin of victory is, what was it, 22, 25, 20,
They were
23, and now
all
28.
over 23.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
It's ridiculous. So they're gonna. I honestly think that they win this game again by. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a little closer just because Miami has just had some really
UConn
good
is
trends.
favored by 5.5.
I'm gonna say 15. They win by 15
You think they win by 15?
at least.
I
At
don't
least
see
15.
Miami getting blown out in this game. They got. My thing with Miami is their offense has played so well. Besides the Drake game, they scored 80 in all their games. I feel like they're due to have an off shooting night.
Their defense has played great, but UConn also held Gonzaga to 54 points.
I think UConn's gonna win by 10. I just think they're too good.
I'm saying, yeah, I'm gonna say 15 just because I feel like their margin is just so great. So okay, so for you it's FAU, and it is going to be FAU and then UConn. Who are you taking?
I just think it'd be crazy to take FAU over UConn. I just think that'd be crazy. I know they're playing real well, and it would be a great story because the lowest seed to ever win a national title is an 8 seed, so they would be the lowest 9 seed. I just don't think that they could be. I don't know. I think if FAU played UConn, they would hang around for a while in the first half, and I think near the end of the first half, UConn would open it up, and then second half they would just win.
Hot take: if UConn doesn't win, I think the next best team to win is San Diego State. I'm sorry, I just feel like they've had the best team. I feel like they have.
I don't know. I just haven't been that impressed compared to these.
I am kind of mad though because I really wanted it to be a repeat of 2014. I really wanted both. Like since IU was out at that point, I didn't care who won on either men or women's as long as it wasn't Iowa and Miami. So I really wanted it to be a repeat. You know, I wanted the UConn women's team to play and I wanted the UConn men's team to play and I wanted them both to win. But you know, UConn women obviously lost, which was bizarre to me, to VT. But so for me, it's UConn, San Diego State. I'm taking UConn. UConn is just. You want to talk about the hottest team in the tournament? UConn has by far and wide been the hottest team in the tournament. Like, no hesitation. Yeah. There's been nobody that's come close to them.
With the way this tournament's going, I wouldn't be surprised if they lost, but I think
I wouldn't either. I mean, the tournament's been screwed.
Of the four, I think they're the best team.
Yeah, I mean, of the four, they're easily the winner here. All right.